Recently, the Florida Steel Homes team had the opportunity to tour the Kratos factory where the panels for our homes are being built. We were so impressed with the size of the factory and the size of the components. They were big enough for a house. Most exciting, though, we were able to learn all the details of the process from the experts themselves.
So you can see that the operator sees on the screen everything that is being processed for manufacturing. And he has a full list of all the elements that he's manufacturing. And he sees on the screen what's coming out from the machine. So the operator at any time, he knows exactly what has to come out from the machine. And he is checking that, the calibration of the machine is correct and that all the product from the machine is matching what is being said on the screen. And on the screen, he sees in color what is being done, what is not, and all that. These machines as they are right now, they can produce around 10,000 to 12,000 pounds per day in an 8-hour shift of a structural. What that translates into is the factory is set up can make more than 1,000 homes a year easily on a single shift. If we put everything together, right? If we start changing or doing multiple different designs, it might vary. But if you say we have 10 designs and we're going to repeat them, we can throw out more than 1,000 homes a year easily. And we can reach even higher numbers on that. So these are high production machines and they can, do anything that we tell them to do, to the specs.
The machinery that forms the steel is really impressive, but what goes over the steel is just as impressive, too.
This is the board that basically gets married to the steel. This is the EPS foam that attaches to the steel, gets glued to the steel. And this is the exterior board. This board is non-combustible. It's fire resistance, is water resistant. It's gonna be your envelope or your water resistant barrier, one puts all together. Between the panels and the boards, there's a sealant on it. So it's gonna be completely sealed. So the house, after leaving the factory, each panel is gonna be water resistant, fire resistant. Insulated thermal, you're gonna see the thermal insulation is not only the EPS, is when we marry the panel with the board, we also spray foam with closed cell spray foam. So each panel is gonna leave the factory at least R16. That's the
How
basic
thick
value.
is the insulation
2
that you
inches.
spray in? Another 3 inches on top?
2 inches on top of this. And this EPS can go anything from half an inch to 2 inches, depending where you go. And depending. But the important part of the EPS itself here is not the insulation value of it, is the thermal break that occurs between the exterior and the steel inside. That was one of the, let's say, biggest issues for the luggage steel framing industry in residential sectors, up north. How do you do that thermal break between the exterior envelope and this? This is the EPS. That's the answer. This EPS is basically glued to the board with a structural glue. Basically, this is to remove it, you have to destroy the board. Basically, there's no other way to do it. So, but this is the material. So, when the panels come from that side to this area here, we're gonna marry the panel together. And basically, at the end, there's a whole corridor that goes through the end of the building. And you're going to see a docking bay that is inside the warehouse where we're going to load the trucks, the trailer.
Here you can see that thick insulation that was just discussed.
Rear wall that the NGO, the EPS attached to it is already glued to it and has this spray foam on the inside, right? Has its own service holes. You can see how the pipes and cables can run through it just as easy as any installation. What's the important part of that here? And that's a very important part in coordination between engineering, architecturals, MEPs, is getting as much information as possible. The devil is on the details, right? So as many details as we have that we can incorporate is less work for the trades back on site. If we reduce their work, are they going to be happier, sad? I don't think so, because they're going to be able to make more. They're going to be able to do 2 or 3 houses instead of one. And if we save them, the work and effort to punch a steel stud that they usually don't have the tools, and if they get it, still it's a lot of work. It's not as easy to cut a steel stud than a wood stud, so they appreciate it. So here we even the knobs at the height where the outlet boxes go. So basically the electrician only has to put a couple screws to the stud and he's already at the right height. So there are multiple things that you can do from the design perspective that can save time and effort on site and can make things much easier. And it's not just making a plan just for getting a permit. This is a plan that is going to go through permit, but it's also going to go through fabrication. So we need details. That's why it's very important to put a couple extra hours on it, because everything that gets drawn gets done, then it's safe to be done on site, right? This is what I was telling you about the bucking. This would be a wood bucking, or let's say the replacement of a wood bucking. In this case, it's done with the NGO instead. So it still is non-combustible. Yeah. And you can see here the installation of the window. This is the bucking itself, and this is the installation of the window.
In addition to seeing windows and standard walls, we also were able to see a variety of upgrades such as siding and the different options for stucco as well.
Gets removed with the direct application, saves a lot of time. Usually with a standard stucco system, you have to go at least 4 to 5 times around the building, doing part of the process, putting the felt, putting the lath, putting all that stuff. Here it's just 2 or 3 steps, and you have the building with the same.
Is this the original colors?
Yeah, these are different colors. You can do whichever color. We use a lot of Florida paints. They are local, and they have a component in their paints that is specifically based for Florida. That it's mold resistant. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. It has zinc.
So this is just a little bit of what we've learned. One of the things I loved hearing over and over in these clips was how this process will speed up our build process, which is something I think we're all excited for. This day also provided a great opportunity for us to get together with the ASCB management team, GC teams, and our architectural partners as well.